Hi everyone, I'm your host Mary Rose, and you're watching Healthy Living in the Bronx. Today, I have a very special guest joining me in the studio, Carolina Aquino. She is a licensed massage therapist, and she's going to be telling us how to reclaim our bodies today. Hi, Carolina.
Hi, Mary. Thank you for having me in your space.
Thank you for joining me on this show today. I'm really excited about this because I think a lot of people hear like licensed massage therapists, but they don't really know what it consists of. Like, what's your day-to-day activities? And then we kind of talk about like how did you even become a massage therapist?
Right. I mean, first of all, when I say I'm a massage therapist, people be like, oh, you're a masseuse? I'm like, no, a massage therapist. There's a difference. Masseuse is like something you hear in the movies, like someone getting a massage.
It
And
sounds like a piece of cake.
right,
A
right.
piece of
Like,
cake.
like mousse on top of a cake, right. But a licensed massage therapist is someone who actually like study body anatomy, human function, and everything that encompasses our body. And it's like really intricate, detailed, deep work, deep knowledge that you get, and that's how you become a massage therapist because you know how to like manipulate the body in a certain way to alleviate pain, anxiety, and other like common ailments. So yeah, like
I remember we talked a little bit before the show. We were just talking, and you told me that sometimes the body actually releases toxins when being massaged. Like, what is that like? And that's really serious. Like, that's why you need someone who is licensed. You don't just want anyone massaging you, right?
you release chemicals, right? So
Okay.
like the skin has a bunch of nerve receptors that when you touch it, it sends a signal up to the brain and you release certain chemicals that actually serve to do a lot of things. One of those things is to like enhance your mood. So some of the chemicals that you release are like those hormones called dopamine
Okay.
or
What's dopamine? Just for those who might not
dopamine
know.
is a hormone that helps regulate your mood and it comes from your brain and you feel it whenever you're engaged in something that makes you happy or something that I mean look what we say when something's cool. That's dope. I don't know if that's
That's
where
where
it
it came
comes from.
from.
I'm
Oh,
not sure.
you heard it here first. Dope comes from dopamine. Okay.
Maybe. I'm
I
not
don't know.
sure. But along with other hormones, those are hormones that you release when you get a certain touch. You know, if you
Right.
get a good alleviating touch immediately, and it serves as a painkiller. So all those chemicals get released into your bloodstream, and boom, you start feeling a sense of like goodness. And that's why naturally, when something hurts, what do?
You want to
You
rub it.
rub it, and
Right.
immediately you feel a sense of like ease and
Calm.
calmness. So it's all chemicals being released when you receive a massage, and that helps your body come back to balance and find,
It's middle ground.
its middle ground. Yeah.
So the question that I have is, when we go to school, we're never taught about these type of jobs or this type of space, like wellness, right?
Right.
What made you become a massage therapist? Like, out of all the careers, why this?
Well, I did go to school for 4 years, right? And I have a bachelor's in education, but like I didn't feel so like attached to that like 9 to 5 kind of schedule as a teacher, or like having to take work with me home. And it was just like the nature of the work. It seemed like it was just like being in that moment, being present, and then like you can go home and do your own thing. But what made me get into it was I went to a yoga class in Harlem Yoga Studio, maybe like in 2013. And that yoga class had another hour workshop where they taught you Thai massage. So Thai massage is basically a very different type of massage than we know. It's not like long strokes with oil. It's done on the floor and you're clothed the whole time, and they use pressure on certain meridian lines, they call it. And meridian lines are just another word for energetic pathways of your organs. So like your heart has an energetic pathway that runs through your arm, your lungs has another energetic pathway that runs through this part of the arm, and all those other vital organs have their lines of energy that you can put pressure on to alleviate tension and overall improve the function of that organ.
Wow.
So I took that 1 hour workshop, learned a few little tricks. Then I went home to my best friend, Elizabeth, shout out to her, and I tried it on her. And while I was doing the techniques that I learned, she was like, girl, what is that? Like what she was feeling was so like, oof. And I was feeling it too when I was receiving. I was like, how can just you placing your hands there create such like alleviate so much tension in my body and just make me feel so good in my
Wow.
body.
It seems like a spiritual experience and as well.
It can be, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, when I tried it on her, she was like, you should be a massage therapist. Like, you should go to school for massage. And I was like, that's not a bad idea. Let me like look into that. So did my research. I found the Swedish Institute, which is in downtown. And yeah, I just enrolled and went with it.
Oh, I think that's awesome. And I noticed on your Instagram, I love following it. And we'll talk more about that probably later. But you mentioned a post, you said a thing about good touch and bad touch. What exactly is that? Can you explain that a little bit more?
Right. I mean, for everyone, it's different what a good touch or a bad touch is. But if you think about it, everything around you touches you, right?
Right.
Like this space right now is touching me right now. Like you being in front of me makes me feel calm. Like music touches you, the smile of a baby, a handshake. You know, it's like how we relate to the world. So a bad touch can be someone you don't know on the subway touching you. Like you're just like, excuse me. A good touch is like a hug from a friend or a massage. The food you eat touches you. Everything you consume, everything that's constantly like stimulating some type of sense in your body is touching you. So that's what I mean by good and bad touch. It's not necessarily like physical touch, but just overall like what surrounds us and how it impacts us. You know, the media can impact us. The music we listen to can have either a positive or negative impact on us. So the post that you saw probably was like a meme of like different body parts that you
Yes.
want, that you feel comfortable with people
People
touching.
touching.
So for me, when I first meet someone, I'd rather do a handshake.
Right.
But for some people, like, hey,
They
I'll
want to
give them a hug.
embrace.
It's all like, it depends on the moment and the person and what connection you feel. So it's good to always be mindful of like people's boundaries and,
Yeah.
you know, and different cultures. In different cultures, like, you don't even touch, you just do a head nod or you just honor the other person in that way. So
Yes.
good and bad touch is gonna like change throughout people's all individual experiences, you know?
So was there ever, I know for me, I had to struggle with this where like I am not actually a touchy person unless I really know you. Like once I know you, I'm overly touchy. Like I'm that person who always wants to hug you. I'm always up in your space. Like with my girlfriends, I tend to sit on them. Like, you know, just that's just what
Right,
what I
right,
do.
right, right.
But how would you guide someone or a woman? Let me just be direct. How do you guide a woman in saying to someone else, even another just female friend, like, hey, I don't want to be touched there. Like something for me I struggle with is people like wanting to touch the top of my head. I got the like, I guess because I'm short, I get
Right.
the, you're cute. And it's like, for some reason, it's not just what they say, but it's how they touch me that makes me feel like, I feel belittled if I'm being honest and being real.
Exactly.
How do you tell someone how to confront that?
First is like acknowledging and honoring the fact that you felt uncomfortable and communicating that in a way that is like you claiming your body and your space. I don't know if it's, I don't know what is it that makes people feel so comfortable or like want to touch you, but I struggle with that too. I constantly have people like wanting to touch my hair or grab me here. I've been at jobs where a manager like literally grabbed me to turn me around. I quit that job the next day because I'm like, if you
Wow.
feel that comfortable to grab me, it's like you have no sense of like respect and just boundary for another person's body. Like
Right.
we own ourselves now. Nobody else can own you. So how do you say that? It's just like one, knowing that you own your body and you can create like the boundaries that you need in order to feel safe in any place.
So I think it's like just being direct and be like, hey, I don't think you meant any ill will, but that makes me uncomfortable.
Exactly.
It took me so long to get to that place. So how did you get to that place? I know for me, it was just one too many times. And then talking to women like you who are like, no, just stand up for yourself. Like, was there a person in your life that made you stand up for yourself? Was it just your natural growth in becoming massage therapist? Like, what made you feel confident enough to do that?
I mean, let's see. I would say me as a survivor of like sexual abuse, I struggled with claiming my body, especially as a child. Like you don't know, you go by the environment, what they're teaching you. I didn't know that was happening to me till like I grew up and understood, okay, this is not okay. So it took me a while to like reclaim my body and be like, no, actually, I do not want to be touched in this way. I don't feel comfortable being touched in this way. And then just using the power of your words and your voice to kind of like create the environment that you need. What else can I tell you about
So
that?
I was going to say, like, I'm actually getting a cue that we have to take a break, but I definitely want to make sure all the viewers at home come back and join the conversation because we're definitely going to talk more about good touch, bad touch, and how to stand up for yourself and reclaim your body.
Does your family need a break from the daily routine?
Hello, I'm
Dr. Spruce. If you or someone you know needs a healthy dose of nature, visit discovertheforest.org and trade in the big screen for the big blue sky by visiting a local park or forest near you.
Hiking, picnicking, swimming, orienteering, climbing, admiring wildlife, or inhaling fresh air may result in heightened creativity, feelings of joy, harmony, satisfaction, and a euphoria that can only be explained as oneness with the natural world. Whoa.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Hi everyone, I'm your host Mary Rose, and you're watching Healthy Living in the Bronx. And I'm in the studio with Carolina. Before the break, we were talking a bit about your experience and how you had inappropriate touches growing up. Can you explain to me, and definitely the viewers at home, more so, how did you find the strength to, one, talk about it, and two, sitting here, you're just so poised, you're so graceful, and like obviously I know you, so it's easy for me to see your strength, but how did you get to this place?
Well, first, it took a lot of work. It took a lot of like facing it, because a lot of times when you experience such trauma, you're gonna do whatever you have to do to like block it, right? And like to cope with it, you're gonna, as a kid, you're gonna go play, you're gonna go keep yourself busy. So it took a lot of like coming back into my body and like feeling those uncomfortable feelings that you get when something that happened to you just doesn't feel right. So one was like coming back to my body, grounding. Like when you experience trauma or face adversity, you either fight, freeze, or flight. Is that what it is, right? So for me, I think I was in flight. I was just like all over the place as a teen, keeping myself busy with sports, and like those things really helped me, but I never like faced the trauma or like even talked to anybody about it. And that's something that's common in our culture, like the culture of silence, not talking about the things that happen to you. Like when you do, you're like, don't tell nobody. And it becomes sort of like a taboo. Like you don't talk about those things. So there's no like a space where you can feel safe to talk about your pain or anything wrong that happened. And if anything, be like, well, that's life, right? That's what we're told. So it took a while for me to like come to a place where like, hey, this happened to me. Like I've gone to therapy, site like behavioral cognitive therapy, like talking about storytelling, like just replaying things that happen, like actually saying them aloud, like taking them out from your brain out to the world. Like
So you don't feel crazy.
so you don't keep it all inside. And then you realize that you're not alone. Once you start like coming to terms with your truth, you realize like, wow, this happens more often than we know. So yeah, it's been a long journey for me to come even to this space now and be like, yeah, I survived this and I'm here now living in a different space. At least in my body, I feel a lot more powerful and a lot more, I have ownership over myself and like what I need to feel happy and have a meaningful life, you know? And you know, the importance of owning your body. A lot of times, like, we go through something and we seek outside of ourselves to get help instead of, like, actually finding those tools within. We go to doctors and doctors prescribe us things. You know, we go XYZ and it's always like, consume this or take a pill or do this. And I was fortunately enough to kind of, like, first find it within myself, find that strength within yourself, that voice that you have, speak it out. Like your silence will not save you.
Did you ever feel the pressure to be silenced? Because I'll share a little bit of a personal experience. Like I finally was able to say a couple of things to someone that was close to me about things that I experienced growing up. And the response I got was, that's normal. That's life. So one of the experience I was just saying how like walking down the street, I've always been a little bit self-conscious about my body, right? Because when I was younger, I had bigger hips than most of the other little girls. I had a bigger butt than most of the other little girls. So being, 12, 13, just coming home from school and having guys make inappropriate comments did something to my self-esteem. It made me not like my body. I thought there was something wrong with me. I always wanted to cover up. I wore bigger pants. Or like even going out and someone like inappropriately grabbing my butt, I've gotten the comment, well, what do you expect? Because it's so big, it's out there, that's what you get. And it's like, and if anyone knows me on a personal level, if you know me on a personal level, I don't wear what people could say is a promiscuous outfit. I think that that's also something our society does. We do like this slut shaming kind of thing, like you get what you ask for. So what is your take on that? Because I know me, like I don't talk about it anymore. Like when I've said like, oh, the way I walk down the street, I'm uncomfortable, I don't talk about it because people make me feel like you're a woman. You should be used to this. Get over it.
I think overall, like our culture, like hypersexualizes our body,
Right.
and like us showing some skin for some reason gives the invitation to sex, and it's not. Like, why can't we like be in our bodies? And if we do want to show some skin, why can't that be like a way of us celebrating ourselves or being comfortable in our bodies rather than like, oh, she's looking for attention or, like what about the other way around? Like, why can other people that view our bodies just look at it as, I don't know, art, a human,
Right.
other than just like an object of sex or something that you want to control or manipulate? It's that culture where like we are seen as objects, unfortunately. So,
Yeah.
you showcasing your body is like, ooh, maybe that she wants me to go and grab her. No, I'm just feeling good in my skin and I want to, feel good in this dress or
And sometimes
whatnot.
I'm not even. Sometimes a woman's not even showing skin, and she still feels like an object. And I guess one of my things is like you spoke about it, like going through therapy definitely helped me. That was one of my tools, talking to women like you. So speaking of that, like how important would you say having friends around you that you can talk to? Like how important is sisterhood? And have your friends always been supportive of your entrepreneurial journey? I know as an entrepreneur, sometimes your time is limited. So how important
Yeah.
is your friends and sisterhood to you?
I mean, that's like my center. Like, who am I without my friends? It's like they keep me in check. They hold me accountable for the things I say I'm going to do, which is really important. It's really important for you to like voice out loud what you need or what you want and actually have witness for that because like that, it's out there. You've said it. It's not in your head. And people will circle back with you, like people that love you, like, hey, how's that going? And they'll share ideas or things that you should look into. It's just like it's important to have a community in general to kind of feel supported and feel connected because when you experience trauma, you tend to isolate yourself and
Right.
you tend to think you're all alone in it. And yeah, you silence yourself. The culture around you silences you. So having sisterhood is like food to me, It's
Right.
like I need that on a daily
So you
basis.
talk to your friends every day.
For the most part, yeah. And
Okay.
even if we don't talk every day, there's still like that connection that I know if I call them, they'll be there. And yeah.
So how big would you say your circle of friends is? Because I know that's a conversation that I've gotten into with women, like as I've been traveling and just talking to women. I know people who only have like 2 good friends, and then I have some women who say they have like 10 good friends. Like, is there a number for you?
My circle of friends pretty small, and I like it that way because for me, relationships take up a lot of energy, and it takes time for you to actually build something with someone. So like I tend to keep my circle small for that reason because I already have a lot of other family members I have to keep up with and other relationships in my life that are meaningful to me. So friends for me it's like very special. If I have like allowed you into my space, it's because I'm ready to invest time in this. I'm ready to grow with you. I'm like we're looking for ways to sustain this relationship,
So
you
what do you
know?
define as a good friendship? What's a good friendship
Good friendship is
between women?
between women, definitely like giving without expecting back. Like you're just present, listening, being a good ear, doing fun activities together, of course, things that keep you happy. Yeah, crying together too. You need a friend that you can be like all sad and in your feelings with, not this always strong person that I'm presenting today.
Right.
With my friends, I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm having a shitty day.
That's
or-
how I learned if someone was my friend or not. I define a friend. If I can cry in front of you, you're my friend. If I
Exactly.
can't cry in front of you, then we cool. But
Exactly.
you're just not in the inner circle.
Right.
So what else makes a good friend for you?
Someone who keeps it real with you when you're messing up and you're not
Not
really
a yes person.
exactly not someone who like says yes to everything and supports you and doesn't keep it real when you know that's not who you are or like
Right.
what else is a good person? I mean, a good friend is a good person,
So have
right?
your friends always supported you in being an entrepreneur? Because I know a lot of my friends, when I first told them I was dabbling in being an entrepreneur, they were like, oh, but be careful. Like, I feel like they were more like my parents than my friends sometimes, but we've overcome that.
Right. I mean, I have friends that definitely be like my parents, and I appreciate that too. But they've been very supportive overall. Like, we're all bosses. We're all like, yeah, girl, do your own thing, or like, Yeah, go take some classes. Like they actually give me a lot of tips and ideas on how to like move forward all the time. I don't feel like I have any haters in my circle.
No haters allowed. You're not supposed to have any haters in your
No,
circle.
everything's very constructive. Everything's just coming from a place of love, and
Yeah.
I appreciate them all. Like I have no complaints with my friends.
Big book nerd. Like a lot of my guests, I'm always putting on some certain books. Is there a particular book or an author that you like that has helped you in your wellness journey?
Well, overall, there was a book that I read back in 2012, I think. My best friend had shared it with me. The Importance of Sisterhood. They share awesome resources
This
with
is
you.
true.
It was from her collection of essays, Sister Outsider, I believe.
Okay.
I'm not confusing. But there was an essay that spoke about the power of language. And in that essay, she basically said something like, your silence will not save you. Like, you keeping things inside is not going to help nobody. If anything, it's going to make you feel like, oh my God, I can't take this anymore. So for me, that was a big step into my whole wellness journey, like just talking about my experience and who I am and with my truth, basically, like being comfortable with that. That's one book, or essay rather. And then recently, Octavia Butler, I read the Parable of the Sower. If I'm saying
Okay.
it right. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right.
Okay,
But
what's this about?
there was a quote. I mean, it's a pretty dark story. Like it's just talking about a lot of dark things. I'm gonna just put it that way.
No, give me one example. I need an example. You can't sugarcoat it.
It almost feel like they're in the apocalyptic times. Like there's just so much death going on, and it's all about surviving. And
How did this book help you in your wellness space?
well, in a sense, it's more like the quotes that would come up in every chapter. It was like there was a quote that says, "All that you touch, you change." The only constant thing is change, and God is change.
That is deep.
Right? So things like that made me reflect like, wow, okay, this is
Like everything you touch is change.
changes you. Or everything that you touch, you change. Like this moment right now is changing us in some way or somehow. It's changing everybody in this room.
Like, let me take a minute to process that.
Process
wait,
that.
say it again. Everything I touch changes.
You change.
I change
All that
it.
you touch, you change.
All that you touch, you change.
Right.
And then
Change is the only constant thing,
change is the only constant thing.
and God is change.
Got it. Wow.
It's a whole like little
like I feel like that's
paragraph.
something that needs to be on my like a wall.
like a reminder. Things are constantly changing, and we tend to hold on to things.
Right. Last question, because I know we have to wrap up soon. How did you come up with the business name 718 Wellness? Because I think I know, but I want you to like explain further because I'm excited about this.
Well, when you think about 718, what's the first thing that comes to your
The
head?
BX.
Exactly. And so 718, like that's the Bronx all day, every day. So for me, it was just like reclaiming my community, like getting in touch with my community, because a lot of people like sleep on the Bronx, I feel, right?
I agree.
But honestly, I feel like the Bronx is like on the come up, if not already coming up. So it was just a way to kind of like bring highlight to my hometown, the Bronx, and like show that the Bronx does have wellness. The Bronx is healthy. The Bronx has different opportunities for you. So that's how I came up about it. And it was also, I heard this, forget the band name, but their band was named after their hometown code. I think it was
okay.
like
Like,
Fan
there's-
512, or I don't remember the
Okay.
name. But point is that I was like, well, I can use my area code and do my business, because obviously my population that I want to target is the Bronx. Because right now I work for 3 other places and they're all located in the city.
Okay.
And I'm offering massage therapy services in those places. But I'm like, I wonder if the Bronx has this kind of service, and if not, like,
How can we bring
how
it?
can we bring it? So that's really how it came about, just like my desire to bring this tool to us, people
Here.
from the Bronx.
So your core customer, who would you say is your core customer right now, or your core client rather?
Right now, I specialize in prenatal and postnatal massage, so it's a lot of women that are pregnant or just gave birth, and it's a very like rewarding work and just nurturing, and just it gives me a little bit of baby fever, but I can wait.
I'm the same way. I'm in the park like, oh, and then I look at my bank account and I go, oh, one person right now.
We're securing the bag first.
Right.
So, and then So most of my clients are people that come from also more money, like,
Yeah.
right. And they're also not black and brown, not as much in black and brown people that I would
Okay.
like to serve. So that's another reason why I also wanted to bring this service. I'm like, this could be very useful in our community,
Yeah.
because massage is not something you just do to pamper yourself, which a lot of
Right.
us see it as like a luxury. I'm gonna go get a massage.
You mentioned that to me. You told me that I told you like massage. I thought it was just like a luxury. You said, "No, Mary, this is therapy." But when I think about therapy, I think about the painful therapy that I'm going through now because I had a situation where I had an accident and like I'm like, doing like what is it, resistant bands now, and yeah, so it's kind of painful. But now you're telling me like getting a massage and helping me relax is a form of therapy, reconnecting to the body.
Right. So massage is therapy and it helps for more than just like an accident after injuries. It helps with like calming your nervous system down.
That's important.
Like having anxiety, depression, um, overall just pain in the body. Massage helps activate those natural painkillers that we already produce.
Right.
And we release them into the bloodstream. And think about it like when you're a baby and you're in your mother's womb, you're surrounded by water. So your skin is constantly like stimulated in a sense, right? You're being carried by water, it's touching you. And then you come out into this world and you're out here dolo. Like, the
Sold
first
out
thing you
here.
want is skin to skin contact with your mom, and that immediately like
Yeah,
brings a
calms you
sense of
down.
relief,
So
right?
that's why
So
that
that's
is.
why we
Okay.
need touch. It's not just because, you
Just a
a
luxurious thing
luxury.
to do.
No, we need to cuddle. We need to hug. We need, it's an, like, just as you need to like nourish your organs and your stomach and air, your skin needs that stimulation too,
Got it.
you
So
know?
I just want to say thank you so much for the work that you were doing, especially in our community, like all over in general, because everyone needs this, but definitely bringing it to the Bronx means so much to me, being a Bronx girl.
Yes.
And I want to say a big thank you to all the viewers at home. This was such a special episode for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope to see you on the next episode of Healthy Living in the Bronx. Bye, guys.